Hello, and welcome to yet another video. I'm recording this live video, and if you're able to hear me well, just type yes, and I'll just give a few minutes to get started, and then we'll cover very, very important things. Markets are coming down, crashing. We want to be reviewing our indexes, stocks, and also be on top of it because for the long term investors, as you must have seen my last live, which I covered, is that we said it is very important that you avoid the panic. And I don't know whether you have watched that video. If you haven't, go to this three simple tips to avoid panic in stock market 101 and go to sbhatia.co/avoid panic. Welcome to the Peaceful Weekend Investing, and I want to cover four things here in this short video. First, I want to do a Bitcoin technical analysis and also talk about what did I mentioned a couple of weeks before in the analysis. Second, we want to look at the India market review. This is a weekly review of markets across the globe, which is very, very important. And if you're able to hear me, just type in hi. So at least I know that you have joined in and able to hear me well. And what we're going to cover is ASX market index, which is also important. These are the key markets which I'm focusing on. And last one, our mother of all market, USA, where we look at SPY, Nasdaq, Dow Jones. So all those we will cover in this short video, short live, because markets are really volatile, and it is very, very important that we continue our analysis because this will give us not only opportunity. I know it's a lot of pain going on, but also gives you a lot of opportunities for long-term investors. So don't miss out. At the last, I will cover up the bonus point, what I am buying and what did I buy recently. Okay, so I'll cover that up if you're interested to know. So if you're new to my channel, just hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell. And whatever your key learnings for today's video, write down your digital notes and put it in the comment box below so that other fellow investors can also learn from your comments, and also you can also reinforce those learnings. And that's a promise, right? So let's get started. I'll share my screen. If you're able to hear me well and joining, just type hi, so at least I know people have joined in. Let's get started. So first thing first, let's look at our Bitcoin. And I covered this Bitcoin analysis in my weekly analysis, which was 2 weeks ago. ASX, as you can see here in this video, ASX weekly analysis, top stocks to review. So if you want to watch that, you can watch that. But I did mention that I'm expecting a correction in Bitcoin, right? And that exactly is happening. Let me just remove. So we are talking about Bitcoin. So let's bring that up. Bitcoin technical analysis. So as you can see, it's a clear, this is a monthly chart. And when I'm recording this video, this live session is happening on 13th of June, 2022. So please make a note of it. Now look at it. This is kind of a double top pattern already formed, and it is how people don't believe on technical analysis, only focus on fundamentals. That alone will not work. And we at Peaceful Weekend Investing follow both technical and fundamental analysis and try and make the best of both the worlds. So it's important that you understand that. Look at this monthly analysis, and you can see here there's a complete downfall in Bitcoin right at the top. And if somebody couldn't get out at 30,000, now they're going to see. I'm expecting the next level to come in around 20,000 or so. But let's look at the weekly analysis so that we know what's going on there. Here is the analysis. Let me remove some drawings and see what's going on here. Yeah. So let's keep it a plain chart here and see what's going on here. So as you can see here, this is like once it has given this bounce, next fall it went above, but it never sustained. And this is something we need to understand. You can look at it, never able to close above this line, and that was the first indication that the bears were not letting this price go up, right? And after that, you have seen the fall. So the neckline which was formed of, given the Bitcoin is a volatile, this was the price which was definitely worth keeping a stop loss for somebody who is invested, because after this rise, either you can get out based on the candle formation, because that's what we can't cover in detail, but this was absolute bottom before you can do that. And market gave you many opportunity to exit before a final breakdown, and that was around 40,000. If somebody has bought it, should have got out very easily, if that followed the proper pattern, which we definitely imbibe in our learning here as a peaceful weekend investor. So that's about Bitcoin as analysis. I'm seeing further pain coming in, and the pain can go right up to, I don't know, at this point there's no sign of any revival, but I'm expecting that this can, this is where it started. At least I've got the chart from here. So I'm expecting at least 20,000 to touch, and then we'll review that. We keep doing a weekly analysis on Bitcoin now that I've added it, because recently I got certified myself into blockchain. I've got some interest in this because as an opportunity, as a trend, not that I'm trading on crypto, neither I'm also advising. So please make sure that there's no advice I'm giving you here. And I want to play out the disclaimer so that you all know that. Great. So you've read that disclaimer, and if you want to, please pause that and watch it. And because I'll put the description box below as well. It is important for you to understand this. We are not giving any recommendations. All buy, sell, hold decisions are your own, or you consult your financial advisor. But it's important that we understand, and I'm here to share my knowledge, my understanding, and what I am doing as part of Peaceful Weekend Investing, and to make you a better investor and better trader as well. And I believe that trading investing is kind of two sides of the same coin. You just have to follow your own proper method, and method can make you a, and you need to make sure that you are riding the proper trend of a stock. And some stocks are bound to be a, for the long term holding. Some stocks are not bound to be long term holding. It can only be at best use that trend and enjoy that, you know uh, move up. And that's exactly what it is, because we don't know future Googles at the moment, right? All we know, in hindsight, everything looks good. You buy Titan, buy in India, or you buy Google or Amazon, or CSL here in Australia. But you need to understand that those were also a startup. From startup, they went into a kind of a growth phase, and growth phase had a maturity, and then wherever they are in the cycle. And that is what you need to understand when you're looking at it. So if you are in quest of finding those new age companies, you will have to go through the volatility. And when you start investing in stock market, you actually are signing up for that. So keep that in mind. So that's a Bitcoin analysis for me. I think there's a some more pain left here, and obviously markets are coming down, so we have to be cautious and not venture out as a bottom fishing. That's my take on it. Neither I don't hold any of my positions, any of the Bitcoins. So I'm just sharing this technical analysis. I hope this was useful. If it was useful, just type yes on the comment box, so at least I know that you've understood that. And let's then move to the next segment of this. Is we'll review the India market. Let's look at NSE. Today, NSE had a big Nifty. So let's look at Nifty. The Nifty had a, and I've been already, if you have not been watching my previous videos, I think I've covered the Nifty as well in the past videos as well. But this was in this watch list video, if you want to watch it 1 month ago. And that time also, this was a line, and this is kind of my, uh, and this is a weekly chart, and we have got a gap down today, and that is not good. As you can see here, there was a clear gap down today, and market was in almost in 15,700. So it is definitely not good. So we have seen the gap down here today, and it is not able to cross this line. As you can see here, there was a bounce, but that bounce was sold into. But the important point for me, the trend will only change, and I only look at weekly analysis, so for me to get that clear trend, is that right now it has made one, two, and three attempts at different levels. First time it was a high of 18,604. Then next time it made an attempt, it went 18, sorry, 18,350, which was a high of it, and then you went in again and it was 18,114. All three attempts were downward trending, and Nifty is in a downward trending at the moment. But at the moment, it is, if it breaks down below this level, which looks to be the case, there might be some bounce coming back, but I'm not buying into that bounce at this yet. At best, you buy I'm at least, focusing on buying Nifty Bs or those kind of things just for the long term acclimation, because after all, the market has gone into one way rally. If you see from here, from the bottom of COVID, all the way to 147%, and now what has come down, if you look at what has come down, is from 147%, it has come down around 15% only. So you need to keep and understand from that context. Don't try and say there's a correction, because if you have got into stocks which has corrected more than 15%, then definitely you need to look at what the strategy you're following. But markets are just at the moment, going in sideways, and obviously inflation fears are real at the moment. There is going to be dent on the profitability of the companies, so you need to understand that and take your positions based on that. And and that's why we say in stock market you don't expect the returns in a regular fashion, like how you get a coupons in the bond. And that's you, it's always a back-ended. You, as if you are DIY investor yourself, you need to follow a process, and be following that process is the most important thing. And you're going to get these corrections. And if you are new, if you have been following my videos before, I've already said that. And what does a peace mean to me as part of peaceful weekend investing? It's exactly knowing what to do in different situations, when to buy, when to exit, when to average up, and when is that you need to focus on those elements and answer those questions very, very objectively, right? And have a clear demarcation of whether I'm an investor, trader, or in between, not having that ambiguity. Once you have that peace, and you will be able to peacefully focus on your investment rather than looking at market and looking at all the noises. So the different pillars I cover that, but you get a sense of it, right? That's more important. So that's a nifty for you. I think this is a crucial. These are all lines which are there, and I do follow technical analysis, and I look at different parameters, and that something has worked beautifully. So for me, from long term charts, this is what it looks like. And if it breaks below, then we will see what the next levels are, and we cover in the next week video. And now let's look at mid cap index, Nifty mid cap, right? I think Nifty mid cap, just 1 minute. Yeah. So Nifty mid cap on a weekly chart is looking also almost in the same kind of things, where you can see it followed exactly the same pattern, three tops, all lower forms, and now it is at just juncture of 26,503. So it is following the same pattern. And if I add Nifty and Nifty, and I'll add small cap. Small cap. Yeah. So if you see here, they both all have been added here, and you can see a different color lines. They're all following the same pattern. Let's take back from the COVID fall, right? Rise. Now look at this, and this is time where it was a COVID rise. And you can see the first line of small cap had at this period gave you 97 90 today. If you were invested in small cap after the COVID fell, it gave you 169% return. And the Nifty, which gave you around 130% return, And at the time of the peak here, when I'm looking at the peak here, right? See, small cap corrected first and after Nifty, and then you look at it, the bank Nifty gave you 91, so it was always a laggard. And the small caps, individuals would have given phenomenal return, but small cap was, n- not. I think small cap gave you biggest, and the Nifty and the orange one is your, just 1 minute. Okay, I've added twice. A mid cap. Okay, my apologies. So the where you see the chart patterns, the candlestick is basically a mid cap. So the mid cap gave you 131% return, and small cap gave you same time 162% right on the top, but it went all the way up against 168. If you see, a there were kind of a divergence. I think that was a pullback. And then we look at the blue, which is nothing but bank Nifty, which gave you 95% at the same time, right? And then you have this Nifty, which was 83%. So if you look at it from here, this is what the return profile looks like, all trending downwards at the moment. And if you look at daily chart as well, you're gonna not find too much of difference here. And on monthly chart is where you get most of the clarity here. All are in the same downward direction. So that's your Nifty analysis. I hope this was useful. And if you find it useful so far, and if you're liking a content, do subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I would appreciate if you give, you know, a decent like, so that that encourages us for make more videos as well like that, and provide you all those insights. So that's gonna be helpful. That's what about is our so what we covered now is India analysis, right? Please do find out what exactly you are doing and what exactly you are following at the moment. I'm not going to individual stocks at the moment because most of them are kind of beaten down, but you will definitely find stocks. Let's look at Apcotex, which is one of the stocks which I was tracking. See, at this market as well, there was a bit of correction. See, today also it is going sideways. So this stock has been completely outperforming the all indexes. So you have to look at all those. It's not that all the opportunities have gone. You have to just be, it has become now not easy anymore to figure out which one to buy. And that's where the you want to, separate the wheat from the chaff, right? That's important. And this is, when you look at those, you can still selectively buy, because if they are holding up, look at all the condition and look at what happening to Apcotex. When market recovers, there's some fundamental stories changing, so you have to look at it from that angle and do that. Whereas if you look at it, other stocks headline like Titan and all others, they're all gonna be hit. They're all following the Nifty pattern. So you see this, they're following exactly, and these are lines around. So all the three items were not able to breach, and that's where it went down. So you have to choose. There's no safe stocks these days. You just have to follow the process. Okay. So let's move on quickly before it becomes a big video. So I want to now cover ASX, where I'm based at the moment, XJO. Let me remove all of these so that so I'm covering up now Australian market. And if you don't invest, probably this may not be useful, but you're happy to stay on and till the end, because I will cover stock which I'm buying. Now, last time I covered this, I'll remove this so that you can get clarity. Don't worry about all this, because if you're not following my previous videos, then probably you may not understand. But look at that. For me, still, it is almost the candle which we started off with this week, or sorry, this month. Look at this. This is a big Marubozu candle formed for this week, even starting. So expect, and this was the last week. So today the market is closed because of the Queen's birthday. But when it opens, I'm expecting a knee-jerk reaction which closed below this, and that's what happened. So I'm expecting it is like triple top pattern which has formed, and breakdown is expected in ASX tomorrow. So that's my view on it. Let's see what happens, unless otherwise something changes. But looks to be inflation we're seeing, which we have not experienced at least in my lifetime, and which going to be very interesting. And very importantly, because USA, Australia, other developed countries, or we say the countries where we have not experienced inflation above 2%, 3%, are experiencing this for first time. Whereas in India, we have seen inflation in double digit as well. So I don't know, from the experience point of view, this is the first time for USA or Australia to see the inflation in that high level, and especially high teens, so which is around 8.9 in USA. And I can definitely tell you, here in Australia, it is very high inflation at the moment, at least, which is impacting me at the moment. Yeah. So that's XJO, and let's look at some other. Let's look at it. So let's go. I think all of them are. These are some last time I covered and put it some metals. Again, the same story. They're all kind of in the same range. At this point, you can see XFL, which is 50, is the same. Look, XEG, which is, I think, energy. Energy is giving you, and it's good signal. So one has to understand this. This is where some, because energy prices are all skyrocketing, and obviously that is creating a tailwind, right? You can see it's completely defining the gravity at the moment and moving up. So these are some of the indexes you have to focus on, and obviously these are the opportunities. You have to make your hot list ready and use this opportunity, because in these types of markets, everything will come down. We have to be selective. You need to know your game and pick up those stocks which you always wanted to buy. But most importantly, you also need to understand that don't carry the junk. And this is where all the new investors who come in during COVID time would experience that pain, because they haven't seen the fall. And people like us who have seen 2008 fall and 2000, and after that, COVID fall, have experienced this, what exactly the market is all about. You have to ensure, be humble, grounded, and understand there are phases you have to live, and all the phases you have to have a different psychology and working towards that. Yeah. So let's move to the last segment, which is our US markets buy, and look at that as well. SPY, and I will mention you which stock I'm looking at to buy, or I've actually executed, because I generally don't. I try to be away from the screens, and look at it. And so let's look at it. US index, US. Yeah. So there is almost 27 now. It has this was the last time when I did that, and now we have almost 30% drawdown from the top on the triple Q, which is not even 30, it's actually a bit more, and 31% drawdown so far from the top, right? And I'm looking at weekly chart. Let's look at the monthly and look the log chart on. So I think you can see here, ever since this broke out, all-time high broke out, which is 121. It was a almost four bagger, or less than four bagger, but it's just come down. But if you have bought it at the right time, you still would have been making money, and you still have opportunity to exit and lock in your profit. But again, that's what is the perspective is from long term, right? After this long rounding formation, it has gone straight away, zoomed in into 3x or 3.5x territory, and now it's just corrected almost 31% from the top. And SPY, which again, no difference here, was a line of control. As you can see, the blue line there, if it breaks, you need to get out, and that's what should be the my mantra, that you follow a particular approach, and that is what I am following it, and that keeps me at the peace. Dow Jones, again, as you know, unless otherwise there's a change in trend in American market, You will not see a change in trend in any other market as well, unless there could be some stock specific moves, but not necessarily you're going to see this happening. And same way here, which is happening for your Dow Jones, which is again had a good fall and it's again broken the key levels. And now this is what it is. So this covers up our analysis for US market, right? Now I hope this was useful. If you are able to, get value out of this content which I shared with you, because very important, and I'll keep coming up with the more analysis going forward. But what I want to cover is what exactly I am looking at to buy. I bought it recently, and the stock which is in my radar is, I'll show you now, is Google. Google is one company you have to keep on, and I have been having it is actually part of my son's portfolio, and ever since it and I initially bought it around when it was um, I had different levels. I think 2000 and levels is one something which I let's look at a weekly chart when it formed the base. Yeah, this was the level when it broke. That's the area where I executed the trade, and now it has come down and decently from the top. And I don't know whether there's a further fall, there on this one. It has already come down 32%. And based on my analysis, if I go back in history and look at it, all stocks can easily correct 30 to 50%, right? And you can do your own maths and go through all this, and I have done this for many stocks, and I've seen 30 to 50% is any time correction can happen, so you need to be prepared for it. And Google is giving that opportunity, and I always have that low hanging trades which are there, which I keep it as GTD orders, and good to cancel GTC orders, and that got executed. So I'm happy with that. At least I got a very good level of Google. But again, it doesn't mean that it's not going to fall further, right? I just
Sorry, I
oh,
don't understand.
sorry, and this is just apologies for that. This is Google just taking over. Okay, I think that's about it, and this is what I wanted to cover. Again, I want to make sure that you are fully compliant with all this. You need to follow disclaimer, and that disclaimer should give you the perspective of what we are doing. So you please make sure you don't make any decisions. And till the next video, I want to say goodbye to you. Have a great week ahead and happy investing. Bye bye.